How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about O.J. Simpson. Yes, the juice is loose. He's out of jail, and he had been in jail for quite a while. I think almost 10 years or more. And I think we all know the reason why he was in jail for so long, not because of the petty larceny that happened in Las Vegas, selling back his own memorabilia that got stolen from him. I heard it was a pistol involved with the whole situation. I don't really know, but aside from that whole situation, that whole kerfuffle, the reason why he was in jail for so long was because of retribution due to the miscarriage of justice in the Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman case. Although O.J. Simpson is an innocent man, according to a court of law, according to legal definitions, we all pretty much know that he did what he was accused of, which was killing Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. And before I continue, I want to say rest in peace to them who died. It's really unfortunate. You know, hopefully their families have been able to deal with it appropriately since their passing. But at the end of the day, we all know what was going on back then. We know what it was. Even those of us who were on O.J. Simpson's side were not on his side because we thought he was innocent for the most part. Some may have thought he was totally innocent. He didn't do anything. He was just, wrongly accused. The whole white Ford Bronco slow speed police chase and the whole kerfuffle, all of that was just a coincidence. He was scared, whatever you want to say. The majority of us who were on his side knew that he did it, but it was just like a little bit of payback for what was going on in L.A. at the time. You had the Rodney King got beat by a bunch of white officers. They got off. It was a black girl that got killed in the Korean store. I think the Koreans got off, or they might have got a light sentence. It was a lot going on in LA on television with the black community at that particular point in time. So OJ, it was like a little bit of payback. Johnny Cochran with the whole, if it don't fit, you must acquit. All the stars that were born from that, the whole shebang. We were more about that part of it rather than his actual guilt or innocence. But I think, like I said, we all know what was really going on. So when I saw that there was going to be a special on Fox talking about some tapes from 2006 were going to be unearthed, and then it was going to show O.J. Simpson confessing to the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, I was like, okay, I'm not really interested. I already know what he did, but I did see it. Now, I cannot play it here because I know they're going to copyright strike me instantly. This is a pretty hot button thing. Matter of fact, these tapes were supposed to be sealed away forever, as far as I know. Like I said, this is from 2006. It just happened to get unearthed recently. I don't know by who. I don't know how, but it did. I think within the past year, the tapes had been unearthed, and somehow they got it to be on Fox, and everything was cleared. Now, I doubt that Orenthal James Simpson, a.k.a. The Juice, a.k.a. OJ, was involved with this whole situation that's going on right now. With the special being released, I doubt that he had any control over it. He probably signed away any rights he had when the actual recordings were taken. So at that point, it's between whoever is the rightful holder of the footage and those who aired it. It may have been Fox itself who recorded it. I don't really know, but if you want to see that, if you've not seen it yet, I will provide a link in the description box below. It'll be highlighted pretty clear so you're able to see what it is. Now, when I watched the footage on that link that is in the box, it was very weird. Now, when I say it was weird, I don't mean the fact that he pretty much confessed to the murders. I just want to say it was weird because of how it was framed and how it transpired. Now, OJ at the beginning really made a point to say this is a hypothetical. Basically, the whole thing about his book, remember that? I didn't kill my wife, but here's how I did it. If I did it, that type of thing. That was pretty much the tone of this piece at the beginning. He kept saying over and over, hypothetical, maybe this, that, and the third. It seemed like, well, I think this is what it was because like I said, I pretty much believe he did it. I don't think that he was actually innocent. He got proven innocent by court of law, and I can't dispute that because the law is a law. But in my opinion, I believe he did it, but different story. He was given his best attempt to say that this is hypothetical. I didn't really, this is just, we're just talking here. It's not really something like an admission of guilt. He did not say it was not an admission of guilt, but he kept trying to say hypothetical, hypothetical, hypothetical. Now, that whole thing kind of went out the window towards middle of it and then towards the end. towards the middle and the end, he basically saying like, look, I do remember this, I don't remember that. He was giving very specific details. The way he was talking was like a person retelling a story that they lived through. And in the beginning of this clip, you see a promo where he's talking about, well, people are talking about it. Everybody has their opinion, but I have more info than everybody else. Well, if he didn't do it, then how does he have more info than everybody else? It does not make sense, but it makes perfect sense when you, in your heart of hearts, like many of you do, think that he actually committed the crimes. It was very graphic, and his behavior was strange. Aside from him just basically confessing to what he did on camera, aside from that, it was his laughter and his body language. Like, he'd laugh and then kind of like crumple down. It was weird. You got to see it. Like I said, link is in the box below. Check it out if you've not seen it already. But his behavior was strange. I'm like, okay, his behavior coupled with what he's saying and the way he's saying it, like he's recalling the story, lets me believe that he did what he did. But like I said, I did not think anything differently back then. And most of us who did publicly say things differently did not actually believe it. We wanted him to get off because it was this whole black versus white thing back then in the mid 90s that was playing out on television and in general society. That's what that was. It's like people that were rooting for Chris Dorner. Remember him? The guy that was going around shooting people, shooting cops or whatever, the black guy. People were rooting for him because of him fighting back against the so-called the white man, this, that, and the third. Nobody believed that he was innocent. Everybody knew that what he was on the run for, he actually did. The wave of support that he got was because of what he was standing for in their mind. And it's really kind of a sick way to think, but it was what it was. So what do you think? Have you seen the O.J. Simpson so-called confession video? If so, what do you think? Do you think that he did it? Did you always believe that? Did the video convince you one way or the other? How do you feel about his behavior? Was his behavior strange? Was it awkward? The whole laughing and just kind of weird body language? How about the interviewer? Shout out to her. She had a face of iron, stone. If it was me, I'd have had a hard time trying to keep my composure. She had a stone cold, rock solid face. I forget her name right now, but of course that will be in the box in the description. But do you think that OJ is innocent? Now, if you think that he's innocent, explain to me why he would go on television and give this kind of interview. Why would you do that if you're innocent? Like if it's me, like I said earlier, if it's me and I'm innocent of a heinous crime like that, I would never say anything about it anymore. And I definitely wouldn't say anything about, well, I didn't do it, but if I did, then here's how. That makes no sense to me. But maybe it makes sense to you. I love to hear explanation as to why it makes sense to you. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.